What's up, everybody? Howard Bender here from Fantasy Alarm. And with the 2025 NFL Draft in the books, it's time to take a look at my top 5 rookie landing spots for redraft leagues. Now, in a redraft league, I'm looking for high floor as well as high ceiling. I want a guy who's got the job from day one. In Dynasty, I can wait on a guy for 3 years. All right. In a large field best ball tournament, I'm just shooting for upside. I don't care about floor. But when I'm drafting in a redraft league, I want a guy with the job who's going to get the touches or the targets that I need in order to win each and every week, starting from week 1. So let's go with my top 5 landing spots for rookies. It begins in Denver with running back RJ Harvey. We all know that Sean Payton and Joe Lombardi have been looking to put their stamp on this offense with their running back. They want something like a Alvin Kamara, like they had in New Orleans, and RJ Harvey fits the bill. Over the last 2 seasons in college, he had at least 225 carries. We know that he can handle the workload. Now, speed, great, right? 4.4 at the combine. Did not have a lot of pass catching over the last 3 seasons. In college, the script just never called for it, or the scheme, I should say. All right, but he did have an 11.8 yards per reception, and that's huge. You know, once he gets that ball out in space, he can take off with it. He can be elusive. RJ Harvey from day one is going to be that lead running back for the Denver Broncos. Maybe he shares a little time with Audric Estime, or maybe he shares a little time with Jaleel McLaughlin, but Harvey's going to be the lead back in this offense. Number 2, Caleb Johnson from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Love this running back. They lost Najee Harris in free agency. Yes, they signed Jaylen Warren to his franchise tender, which is a 1-year deal, but Jaylen Warren is not a between the tackles guy. Caleb Johnson, 6'1", 225, yes, please. Now, he's not going to be asked to catch a bunch of passes, but like Najee Harris, he is capable of doing it. We have seen him. He caught 22 passes in his last season in college, but Caleb Johnson is going to be Arthur Smith's workhorse. We know it's a run-first scheme. We know they like to go in the mud with the Yinzers, and that's what Pittsburgh loves to do. Caleb Johnson is going to fit that bill, and he's going to do it from day one. Number 3, Tetairoa McMillan from the Carolina Panthers, wide receiver. What we love about this landing spot here is that he immediately slots in as the number 1 wide receiver. They needed a big split end, somebody who can stretch the field, but somebody who can also come down with some contested catches, and McMillan fits that bill perfectly for them. All right. Adam Thielen re-signed. He's going to work out of the slot. He's going to remain Bryce Young's security blanket, especially for moving the chains. But if the Panthers really thought that either Xavier Legette or Jalen Coker were really capable of being that number 1 wide receiver, they wouldn't have taken Tet McMillan as high as they did, number 8 overall in the draft. So you know McMillan is going to be in there. If you believe in what you saw from Bryce Young and his development in the second half of last year, then you're going to want to get in on Tet McMillan. He will see mad targets in this scheme. My next favorite landing spot here, number 4, Trey Harris, Los Angeles Chargers. I love Trey Harris. Now, I know his speed didn't really test out well in the combine, but I don't care. This is a great landing spot for him because the competition for targets probably not going to be as severe. Sure, Ladd McConkey, the number 1. Tyler Conklin signed in there. We know what Greg Roman likes to do with a pass-catching tight end. But you're talking about a guy who, in Trey Harris, who's going to replace Quentin Johnston, and he's going to push an aging Mike Williams out of the way. All right, Trey Harris can stretch the field. They did that at Ole Miss with him all the time. All right, he can also go up for contested catches. He's going to be able to do everything that Quentin Johnston couldn't do. Johnson couldn't get separation. Harris can get separation. Mike Williams, old and broken, not going to be able to get so much separation. Harris, going to get that separation. I love this landing spot for him, and I'm definitely going to lock in with him in redrafts. Now, you don't have to shoot for, push him up draft boards too much because people aren't really focusing on him. They're focusing in on Amari and Hampton competing with Najee Harris for touches. They're thinking that Ladd McConkey and Tyler Conklin are going to steal all the targets. You watch Trey Harris sneak on in. It's going to be a mid to late round draft pick for you, and he's going to pay dividends. And then finally, my fifth Favorite landing spot, tight end Colston Loveland for the Chicago Bears. Now, I've been very vocal about the fact that I didn't think the Bears needed to take a tight end at number 10, but that point is moot. Doesn't matter now. They took Colston Loveland, and what you need to focus on right now is the coach's words, his tendencies, and his history. And we're talking about Ben Johnson coming over from Detroit to Chicago. He's looking to put his stamp on the offense. And for those of you who don't know, he went over to Colston Loveland during his pro day and started talking about how the tight end reminds him of Sam Laporta. Now, if you go back and you look at Sam Laporta's rookie campaign, played almost 90% of the snaps. He was number 2 in targets on that Detroit team. And Ben Johnson was very, very adamant about keeping his tight end as a pass catcher. Right? He had an inline guy in Brock Wright. Hi, Cole Kmet, inline tight end, going to be tethered to the line. Loveland's going to be free to run those routes. And I'll tell you what, you're talking about, again, Sam Laporta rookie campaign, second in targets, 90% of the snaps. If that workload goes to Colston Loveland, he's going to fire up. Now, I know there's competition with DJ Moore, and I know that they drafted Luther Burden, and I know that we're still waiting for Rome Odunze to continue developing. So there are going to be targets that are going to be tough to come by. But if you take the coach's word for it and you know what he likes to do and you know what his tendencies are, he's going to get Colston Loveland very involved in this offense. You didn't take him 10th to put him as an inline tight end, did you? No. You took him 10th because you're going to use him. So there you have it, folks. My top 5 rookie landing spots for redraft leagues. I love them all in Dynasty too. I'll own them all in Best Ball as well. But for redraft leagues, this is going to be where my rookie focus is. I'm Howard Bender from Fantasy Alarm. We'll catch you next time.